I write to share my life experiences with my kids. They want to know about me and my siblings, parents, and grandparents. I write stories about different events in my life, things I remember that are funny or sad, or things I think my children will want to know. This is memoir writing for me. One of my grown children asked if I would share about when they were little. I told her that that was her story to tell. Still, I might write some things about when they were little. Anyway, this is why I write. I write to tell my story. I believe it is an interesting one. I write lists all the time, compose and edit emails to get them just right. I write for my master's assignments, almost done, and letters of intent, philosophy statements, or for job hunting. I write emails for work and keeping up with friends. I write tons of to-do lists. I still handwrite thank yous. I write papers and essays for my job. I write to get my emotions out so they are not cooped up inside, mostly poetry. I write to inform, to plan, to organize ideas, to communicate ideas and information. I write to reflect and grow in my thoughts and beliefs. I write to brainstorm and for achievement. I provide feedback and correspond to clarify. That is for work. Outside of that, I make lists and write emails. I write because one day a well-worded resume could be a life changer. I write to become clear with my thoughts or as a coping skill to get through something. I write lesson plans to make my students better as writers. I write my own stories to feel a sense of accomplishment and to use my creativity. Sometimes I spend so much time reading and grading other people's writing that I miss the feeling of completing a polished piece. So I try to make time for my own. I write to communicate. I write to-do lists. I write anything. I write things that will keep me from being lost. I write short-term and long-term goals. I write policies and procedures and many, many emails. I also journal. It helps define my goals, clear my head, and see the positives in my life. I write to keep things straight and organized. I write to express my feelings because saying the words sometimes is just not possible. I write to remember events that have had an impact on my life. I write for many reasons. Sometimes it's just communicating, like lists or notes about where I'm going on errands. Sometimes it's to make someone happy, like birthday cards. But the most meaningful times I write is when I just have to get my thoughts on paper to help someone else understand what I'm feeling. There are times my soul needs me to write. Those are the times I love writing the most. I like to write to express my feelings. I find it helps me relax and think through. Oh, and I love lists. I live to be organized and cross off things on my list. I write because it gives me a chance to create my own worlds, to take pieces of something, words, and put them together in something brand new, something completely my own. It is a way for me to express myself, and I find I feel connected to myself, the world, and even the divine when I write poetry, stories, and even essays. I'm not very good at keeping baby books and journals filled out, so I have some catching up to do. But I suppose the purpose would be to preserve memories. I love to write. I suppose I should do it more often. But the most consistent writing I do would be the list for groceries, to do, organizing my thoughts. I write to document my children's milestones. Both of my children were babies, and I started writing to journal about their lives and different stages that they're in. It was a place that I could write notes and words of encouragement for both of them. I can't wait until they're both older and I can share it with them. I write for my sanity. I write to gain clarity. I write to remember.